Colin Powell Inspirational Quotes. Look at the world. There is no pure competitor to the United States of America. In the last several years, I have been troubled by the right shift of the Republican Party too far to the right. The Army will take its lessons learned. They are excellent at looking into themselves and reflecting on what did we do right, what did we do wrong. Politics is not bin bags. It's serious, tough stuff. The only bipartisanship you ever see is when they finally sign a bill and everybody says, "Gee, isn't that wonderful?" I think the Iranians are clearly determined to have a nuclear program. And we have to assume that with a nuclear program they have the capability and the will to create a nuclear weapon. Some of the generals are saying, "We're making progress. We are clearing an area." But you really don't defeat the Taliban by clearing an area. They move. We need to understand that we as citizens and as a government in any community throughout this country have no more important obligation than to educate those who are going to replace us. So like any football or basketball coach, you always believe you're going to win. We all hoped in 2001 that we could put in place an Afghan government under President Karzai that would be able to control the country, make sure Al-Qaeda didn't come back and make sure the Taliban wasn't resurging. It didn't work out. I don't think we handled the aftermath of the fall of Baghdad as well as we might have. But that's now history. What you're seeing with Occupy Wall Street and the others are people who are unhappy, and they are directing their unhappiness now toward Wall Street and toward those they think are doing too well in our society. You have to make sure you know why you are going to war and then use decisive force to end it as soon as possible. There are lots of countries that are having these kinds of internal civil wars in other parts of the world and nobody is talking about intervening. The country would be a lot better off if we stopped having comment sections. And if we got rid of Twitter. We got rid of a terrible dictator. We gave the Iraqi people an opportunity for a new life under a representative form of government. Trump just looks stupid trying to appeal to blacks and Latinos. The idea that putting Americans first requires a withdrawal from the world is simply wrong-headed, because a retreat would achieve exactly the opposite for our citizens. It's nice to say let's be bipartisan. But we're a partisan nation. We were raised as a partisan nation. I consider myself a moderate Republican. I have very, very moderate social views, and I'm pretty strong on defense matters. When Jerry Springer thinks you've gone too far, my friends, you have gone too far. Foe means enemy. Now, will we have differences of opinion with the Russians? Yes. Will they get mad at us from time to time, and we get mad at them? That's part of the normal diplomatic relations. President Assad, I worked with. I know him reasonably well, met with him a few times, and he's a liar. A dream doesn't become reality through magic, it takes sweat, determination, and hard work. Perpetual optimism is a force multiplier. Great leaders are almost always great simplifiers, who can cut through argument, debate, and doubt, to offer a solution everybody can understand. Bad news isn't wine. It doesn't improve with age. No battle plan survives contact with the enemy. Avoid having your ego so close to your position that when your position falls, your ego goes with it. Don't be afraid to challenge the pros, even in their own backyard. Never neglect details. When everyone's mind is dulled or distracted, the leader must be doubly vigilant. Don't bother people for help without first trying to solve the problem yourself. I try to be the same person I was yesterday. War should be the politics of last resort. And when we go to war, we should have a purpose that our people understand and support. People have asked me, what would you have done if you hadn't gone into the army? I'd say I'd probably be a bus driver. I don't know. There are no secrets to success. It is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. If you are going to achieve excellence in big things, you develop the habit in little matters. Excellence is not an exception, it is a prevailing attitude. It ain't as bad as you think. It will look better in the morning. Fit no stereotypes. Don't chase the latest management fads. The situation dictates which approach best accomplishes the team's mission. 90% of my time is spent on 10% of the world. Trump is a national disgrace and an international pariah. Giving back involves a certain amount of giving up. Economy's got to get moving, we've got to get the unemployment rate down. That may be the defining issue of the campaign. Success is the result of perfection, hard work, learning from failure, loyalty, and persistence. I think whether you're having setbacks or not, the role of a leader is to always display a winning attitude. Never let your ego get so close to your position that when your position goes, your ego goes with it. Organization charts and fancy titles count for next to nothing. I don't want to spend the rest of my life giving speeches. Standing in support of children is something we should all be able to get behind, regardless of party affiliation. Don't let your ego get too close to your position, so that if your position gets shot down, your ego doesn't go with it. The healthiest competition occurs when average people win by putting above average effort. The commander in the field is always right and the rear echelon is wrong, unless proved otherwise. You don't know what you can get away with until you try. Experts often possess more data than judgment. The United States is not stingy. We are the greatest contributor to international relief efforts in the world. There's not going to be a World War III, because there is no one to have World War III with. Wouldn't it be great if we could look forward to a whole world in which no child will be left behind? I don't know that there is much the United States can do except work with the international community. It's a disgrace that we have millions of people who are uninsured.
Thanks for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe for more interesting videos.